Here are our solutions to perfect problem 5 for Math 60. See, this is the one about the baseball games. So every team plays 162 games, and we're going to let X represent the number of wins that team has. And the little hint here is we could make 162 minus X as the number of losses. Because they play 162 games, so those that they don't win, they lose. Because there's no ties. So in this first one, my beloved Oakland A's won. So let's see. The amount of games the Oakland A's won is what we're going to call X. And what that is, well, let's see, we got 26 more than, so something plus 26. And what is it 26 more than? Well, it's the amount that they lost. And we have up in our hint here, we can say 162 minus X is the number of games they lost. So you don't need these parentheses, but I put them in really just to separate all the terms out. But actually that might confuse people, so I'm going to leave it like this. 162 minus X is how many they lost. So what we have here is a linear equation. We can solve this linear equation. If we add X to both sides of the equation, it gets rid of this one. Well, maybe before I add X, I'll combine like terms. So 162 plus 26, what's that, 188? So we can get something like this. And now if we add X to both sides, we get 2X equals 188. But we don't want 2X, we want X, so we have to divide both sides by 2. What we get is that X equals 94. Let's see, where should it, maybe I'll go over here and I'll say, so the A's won 94 games. Pretty impressive, considering their small payroll. And we can figure out how many they lost also. Let's see, 162 minus X is the losses. So maybe losses is 162 minus X. But we know that X is equal to 94. So we got to figure out what's 162 minus 94. What is that, 68? Yeah, 68. So their record, maybe I'll write this over here. Record was 94 and 68. Not too bad. All right, second one. Kind of the same idea, but now we're talking about a different team, the Houston Astros. The number of losses for the Houston Astros, so again, losses we have is 162 minus X. So the number of losses was 3 less than twice the number of wins. So what that gives us is a 2X over here. So our equation is 162 minus X equals 2X minus 3. And this is an equation we can solve. Maybe I'll write it again with things less spread out. Let's see, maybe add X to both sides. And we get 162 is equal to 3X minus 3. And then add 3 to both sides. You get 165 equals 3X. Okay, and then we have to do some division. Maybe I'll leave it on that side. If you divide 165 by 3, you get what, 55, I believe? So the Astros won 55 games. Not nearly as many as my beloved Oakland A's. And we can figure out losses. We know they played 162 games. And they lost 55 of them. So if we figure out 162 minus 55, what's that, 107? We get that their record was 55 and 107. All these are correct too. I pulled actual records from 2012. So you can at least check these answers, or check your answers by looking at the standings. Okay, last one. The Mariners. So again, X's wins, 162 minus X's losses. And it starts us out with 4 times the number of Seattle Mariner wins. So what that's saying is 4X was 39 more than 3 times the number of games they lost. So we'll be careful with that. We want 3 times something, and that something is how many games they lost, which is 162 minus X. So it's really important that we have the parentheses in this case. Without the parentheses, we'd only be multiplying the 3 by the 162. But we don't want to multiply 3 by 162. We want to multiply 3 times their number of losses, and this entire thing is their number of losses. All right, I think the numbers are going to get a little bit big here, but we can deal with it. 3 times 162. Let's see, that ends in a 6. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry a 1. I think that's 486. And then 3 times negative x gets you negative 3x. And then plus 39. And so what we have here is we have a linear equation that we can solve. Add 3x to both sides. And you get, well, no, I'm going to make sure I go in the order that I've been doing these in class. Let's first combine like terms. So 486 plus 39. So that ends in a 5. Carry the 1. You get 525 minus 3x. And then add 3x to both sides, and you get 7x equals 525. And then you got to divide 525 by 7. Yuck. There's probably a shortcut way to do this. Let's see, 7 times 70 would give us 49. And then another 35 would be 5 more. So I think what we get is x equals 75. Double check that. 7 times 75 ends in a 5, carry 3, 49. Yeah, I think that does work out. So divide both sides by 7, and we get x equals 75. So the Mariners won. So the Mariners won 75 games. And to figure out their losses, all we got to do is, well, losses is 162 minus x. So it's 162 minus 75, which is what, 87? That add up? I think that works. So record was 75 and 87. Whew, okay, that's the end of this example.